Hey everyone, Charles here. And first of all, thank you for stopping by my podcast. If this show inspires you, makes you think, or gives you that courage to jump into action, please help by donating to this show. Click the link in the description and donate. Your donation helps us with production and finding great guests moving forward. Thank you and enjoy. Good afternoon, everybody. What's good, everybody? Listen, I love technology. When things go up and things go down, you're like wondering, Chuck, why are you laughing for? What's going on? You don't know what we got to go through to get you this live show. And I'm excited to have this person on next. Listen, technology is great. She's on fire. And I want to introduce you to my special guest, Dee. Where are you at? Let's do this.
Hey. Yes.
Man, people don't know what we got to go through to do the show.
It's real.
I'm like, we're on fire. Things are happening. I'm like, what's going on? But this is how it happens. So Dee, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Dee. I mean, you asked me before, like, where you from? From Baltimore, Maryland. And I'm here to, shift the culture and to do some things that the world hasn't seen before.
Now, in the background, I asked you, what was a little girl in you? And then you said something that threw me because you said, like, you didn't think about, what you wanted to be because you didn't think you're going to pass 18. Yeah. Touch on that.
Yeah, I grew up in Baltimore. So like the area that we were in, it was pretty rough. And just my childhood was just very intense. So by the time I got 15, 16, by the time I was 15, I lived on my own in Baltimore. I had my own apartment. And in like one of the worst areas. And, you asked me, what did I see for myself? I actually didn't think I would hit 18. I didn't think I would hit 21. So, I think it wasn't until I realized like, okay, you're here that I started to really put plan into action and decide like, what am I going to do while I'm here? How am I going to impact the world?
Wow. Okay. Because that, to me, that's pretty, scary in one part and thinking of how you get to the next level at the second part. So what at 18 or what happened that made you think I can do this?
Well, I would say when I was maybe 16, I had definitely a life-changing event that happened to me. And I decided at that point that I was going to do things differently. I don't know if I had a plan or if I believed that I was going to live past 18, but I knew that at this point, like I was a mom of two, I was living on my own. I had no parents at that time. And so it was like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to, live like this and my kid's going to be like that? Or am I going to be something totally different and be someone totally different? And I chose that part. I chose to put my foot out there, to take risks and to try to make something of myself versus to just live in the story that had already been provided for me,
So then what was the big break? What came up and said, okay, I'm on the right track? What came up? Did you win some Lotterio? Did you find what happened?
No, actually, I was on the bus stop and I was watching a bunch of people. I was on Martin Luther King Boulevard and in Pennsylvania Avenue. And I was watching a whole bunch of wealthy people ride by in these cars. And I was looking at my environment and looking at my situation. And I was like, what makes them different from me?
Okay.
Why is it that they're able to drive that and I'm waiting on the bus stop? Like, what have they done differently? And I think that day I really decided that I wanted to explore that question a little bit deeper to figure out who I am, what I'm capable of doing. And I already kind of knew, like, I know this person's not better than me. I'm very smart. So this person clearly is not better than me. So like, what are they doing differently than me? And that was kind of like a waking point. I was like, I don't want to be on welfare anymore. I don't want to live in the hood anymore. I don't want to be described as a teen mom, a statistic, as someone who was going to be, living in Baltimore with 20 gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? And just like living in the hood, I was like, that's not about to be my life. It's just not about to be my life. So I just chose different. It was like, it was a decision, it was like, what you going to do? Right. And, I answered.
I just got a vision of your teeth being gold. Like you got you got a beautiful smile and all I saw was, okay, anyways, you just threw me off. All right. But I like that. I liked what you said there. And that's what I try to teach most of my guests and viewers when they're teaching each other is, where do you see yourself? What vision do you have for yourself? Like, do you see yourself staying at one point? You saw these people going by and go, something's wrong here.
Something's wrong here, honey.
I know I could be better than that. So what is it? So what was the dive in? After you saw all that, how did you move forward? What did you do?
So I'm gonna share some things I've never shared before. So immediately I came up with a plan. At that time, like I said, I was a mother of two. I had two children. And so I decided that I wanted to get off of welfare, actually find a job and attempt to create an income for myself. Like I wanted to work in an office. And so I wasn't really sure about how to go about that. And so that was like my starting point. I had to ask my family, like, can you watch my kids? They were like, why? I was like, I want to get a job. They're like, why you want to get a job? You got welfare. I was like, I don't want to be on welfare anymore. They're like, what? I'm like, I don't want to be on welfare anymore. I want to get a job. So that was trying to get them to understand. Even my thought process at that time was like crazy. And then I worked at the Radisson for a little bit and got fired. And then I went to a temp agency and I took a test to be an admin and I failed the test and they were like, nah, you don't know how to use Microsoft. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started going to the library every day at Towson State and I took my kids with me and I started using the computer, trying to teach myself how to use Microsoft Word. And one day the librarian came to me and was like, how old are you? And I was like, 16. And she's like, these your kids? And I was like, yeah. She's like, I've seen you come up here like every day for the last 3 weeks. What are you doing? I said, I'm trying to teach myself how to use Microsoft Word so I can get a job at the temp agency. And I showed her my test. And she was like, when is the last time these kids, ate? And I was like, yeah, I've been here all day. Like, she was like, okay. So she gave us some crackers and she was like, come back here tomorrow and bring your kids. So I left and I was on the bus and I was like, I'm not going back there tomorrow because they are going to like put me and my kids in like child protective services. They're like setting me up. And so I had to think about it like the whole way home. And it's like, is this somebody I can trust? And then the next day, I just went back. I went back with my kids. And when I walked in the door, they greeted me with open arms. They took my kids, gave them snacks in the back, watched them for me. Somebody came out, a young lady, an older lady, and she sat with me for months and studied with me, helped me learn it. I'll go to the temp agency, take the test, fail it again, come back. She would work with me again, fail the test, come back until I finally passed it. And that was my first like real job, like where it wasn't under the table or like a McDonald's or something like that. And I was like 16, 17, making 15, 16 bucks an hour. It was more than, anybody that I knew at that time. And so that was kind of like the starting point. And that really kicked off my career in staffing and gave me my true foundation. So
let's stick a pin here 1 second. Let's go back into the story so people can see how you got to a certain level. One, you kept saying failed and went back, failed and went back. Most people would just say, after the first failure, give up. No, you failed, you learned, and you kept going back. So that's number one. Failure is not the end all. You learn from your failures and you keep going.
For sure.
Number two, you said you had to take that chance and rely on somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. She saw something in you and you took that chance and you went back. Most people were like, man, I don't know about this person. No, they did. And you're like, something? I'll try it. And boom, it worked out.
Yeah.
And then the first thing you said was that amazed me is you wanted to become something different. And friends and family always say negativity. Like some people, you think they would be on your side. You're like, what are you doing?
They're like, welfare? Why would you want to get off of welfare? Like, you want to get a job? And I was like, yeah, I do. They're like, I don't even understand that.
You know what I mean? You're going to have people on your side and off your side. The dedication, it was off the chain. So right now, I'm even more excited. I'm not even in your shoes. I'm like, okay, she said no to the people. Let me help these people. And I'm going to do this myself.
Yeah.
And then you got it. So what happened after that?
I would say life, I worked, I would say life was very rough my first 21 years. I had some very intense experiences that sometimes moved me forward and sometimes moved me back. Like I lost custody of my oldest son to someone that was in my family. So I went on this journey of trying to fight and get him back, which put me in I really started to learn law because I wanted to understand like the systems. They were saying, yeah, you're probably never going to get your kid back. I didn't agree with that. I didn't believe that. I knew I would. And I did. So I had like those things. I had also had been raped by a cop. So that had really pushed me back for a minute. So I had like all of these things happening. And so work wasn't always like the priority. It was like I was a young mom, no family, and just trying to maneuver my way through life and dealing with people who some were great, like that young lady, but some people are actually very horrible people out here, and they're on they have a different alternative, different ulterior motive. And so it was, for some years I had to figure out who's real, who's not, take a lot of L's, but still try to stay focused on achieving whatever goals, that I was trying to achieve.
All right. So I got to ask, because you said, drop the bomb on me about the cop. You dropped the bomb on me with your kids.
Yeah.
So I got to ask this. Where do you get this, what do I call it? Oomph, inspiration, gut check? Like most things that happened to you would have like took people out already. Yeah. Where do you get your courage and this oomph from to keep going and knock people back out?
It's something in me that says that this is what I'm supposed to do. This is the direction that I'm supposed to go in. And I have to get there by any means necessary, ethically, but by any means necessary. And so what does that mean? Does that mean it's going to be easy? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. Is everything going to work out? Probably not. Am I going to take some L's? Probably. But am I going to get to my goal? If I just stay focused, yeah, I definitely get to it. Are people going to tell me no? 100%. What do I say when they say no? Not right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I just have to, and don't get me wrong. Don't think that I don't cry first, right? Because I'm definitely going to sit down. Oh God, woe is me. Cry it out. Like, I can't believe this has happened to me. What am I going to do? Sometimes I tell friends and family, and sometimes I keep it in. But for the most part, it was like, okay, you can't just stay here. So what are you going to do? Stay here and cry? No. What are you going to do? You got to move to the next level. You got to do something. And so you really just have to put yourself in a position where after you give yourself permission to feel whatever it is that you need to feel in that moment, now it's time to focus. It's time to plan. What are our alternatives? Who are our allies? What type of resources do we have? What type of time do we think we have? And what type of energy are we projecting in the world to receive what we believe we deserve or we desire? And I'm talking about me, myself, Kitty, Dee, Renee, like all of these versions of me who are out here representing me in different ways. Like, hey, we got to figure this thing out. And it's a we thing. It's not a me or I, it's like a we. And I even say that we is probably like my higher power too, like what people would say is God, because you're not ever alone. You hear the words, you hear the talking in your head. So, you're not alone. So I'm not crazy, but I definitely know when I know when it's time to move. And know it's time to move forward. Like, get your butt up, girl. So,
All right. So then here's the thing.
Okay.
What do you tell the next generation? Yeah. When you see another young girl on the street and you see hard time and you see her and you're like, that I know that right there. I know that. What do you tell that young lady?
This is actually happening right now. I met a young lady. She did some work for me and she did an amazing job. And then she did some things that were a little unethical. And I questioned her about it and told her with the mindset of like, I'm never going to deal with you again. I'm just letting you know, for future reference. But as I talked to her, she began to tell me her story. I realized that it wasn't done out of malice. It was done out of desperation to be good, to do better than what she was doing. And she just made the wrong decision. So I had to really, where my friends and my colleagues were saying, no, sue her, cut her off, whatever, I actually saw something different in her. So I sat back and talked to her and I told her, and this is what I would tell anybody coming in, which is basically First, you have to find your energy. You have to find the right energy, because right now you're either living in lack, or you're living in desperation, or you're living in, confusion. Like, the first thing is to really center your energy. What do you want to accomplish? What are you trying to achieve? And do you have the energy to be able to achieve those things? Right.
Right.
And people say, well, Dee, that sounds like mumbo jumbo, but it's not, because we create based on the energy that we're projecting out there, and you're trying to accomplish something. So the first thing I talk to them about is energy. The second thing that I say is, go and find out how to learn more. Go look for resources to get better at whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, whether it's through someone, and I call them allies, or whether it's through a book, a YouTube video, a coach, or whatever. Go and learn. Don't expect to get it for free. If you get it for free, great. But don't expect to do that. Expect to work for it. If you don't have the money for it, offer to barter some other skill that you have, so that people don't feel like you're trying to take from them, because
it's a give and take.
It's a give and take always. When you're just going and asking for something, it doesn't feel good when somebody wants to give it to you. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm letting everybody know right now, my business started on barter stuff. Okay.
I still barter. Listen, I still barter. If I see you got something that I love and you might be out of my little price range, I'm like, look, I build brands. I can help you do this. You want to barter? I will definitely put it out there. I'm never too ashamed.
All right. On that note, let's have some fun.
Yeah.
It's time for rapid fire. What you're going to do, you're going to give me a letter A, B, C, or D. I'm going to ask you questions. You just have to spit whatever comes to your mind. You can answer them real quick, give a little explanation, but we got to go because you only got 2 minutes on the clock, and you got to answer all these questions in the 2 minutes. So give me A, B, C, or D.
A.
A. All right, ready?
Yeah.
2 minutes is on the clock. You'll see it in the top corner.
Okay.
There it is. Counting down. A. What is your favorite drink?
Oh, God. Probably an apple martini.
Okay. Well, when are you most productive?
In the morning.
What inspires you and why?
What inspires me and why? Anime. Actually, anime inspires me because they have that hero story, and you never get tired of that hero story.
All right. Minute, 20 seconds left. Summer or winter?
Summer.
What is something that's happened to you in your life right now that makes you excited?
The launch of ReSkillify and the Cannabis Job Board.
Okay. What is your favorite number and why?
7s, because I was born in 1977, and all things 7 are great.
There you go. Favorite cake?
Lemon.
What do you do to start your day?
Work out.
What is your worst subject in school?
Everyone. I don't know. Everything. I was unruly.
All right. Then what was your best subject in school?
Probably writing.
What scares you?
Snakes.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
What would you change about yourself?
Not a goddamn thing.
What was the best compliment you've ever gotten?
Tony Robbins just told me how beautiful I was, and his face turned red, but don't tell him I told everybody.
Boy, that's a whole nother episode. All right. What do you do first thing when you wake up in the morning?
I don't know. Pick up my laptop.
There you go. 1 second left on the clock. All right, we're going to take a quick break so she can breathe, and we'll be right back. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. CMJ Entertainment is a one-stop shop. CMJ Entertainment helps people do any type of events, and it's a marketing tool as well. So we'll cover everything from start to finish. If it's a wedding, we'll make sure your wedding is over the top. And if it's an event, we make sure that everybody gets information at the end of the day. Give us a call at 416-414-8964 or online, go to cmjent.com.
Yeah.
We're back live with my special guest, Dee. All right. And if you just missed it, it was rapid fire and she killed it. So if you want to go back, rewind the tape and you can watch it right there. One of the questions is, what would you change? And she said, not a thing. She just fine is why she wants to be. So the question I have is, where does this confidence come from?
Just my ability to go through things and to come out on top. You know, I realize things are always working out for me, even when they're not. And so you have to be confident if you're going to believe that, you know, if you're going to believe things are always working out. So, yeah, I believe it's coming. This is happening, whatever it is.
So we said, we talked about, you know, what you're excited about. And then you said, you know, the new launch of the cannabis. So let's talk about it. Here we go. Tell us a little bit about it. And congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So the Cannabis Job Board is a hiring platform. It's a job board and hiring platform, and it's specific to the cannabis industry. We connect professionals who are looking to start a career or to advance their career in the cannabis industry, and employers who are looking to find amazing talent and to hire them. They can do it right through the platform. We're brand new, to be honest with you. So we really are, I say we launched about 2 weeks ago, but we're like building on the back end, working with employers one-on-one, introducing them to the platform, introducing candidates. So we're really excited when an employer comes on and registers. We're like, you know, and a candidate registers, because that means they see the value in what we're building and what we're providing to the cannabis industry and to the, you know, the world of recruitment and staffing and hiring and all of that as well. Interesting enough, people don't know this, but one of the things that, and I don't have the stats with me now, but it was discovered that the Great Resignation wasn't about people actually resigning from their jobs. It was more about them resigning from corporate America and going into other industries. And one of those industries that people are really navigating towards is the cannabis industry. It's brand new. It's, you know, Congress is going to vote on it, you know, the Senate, the House, and it's going to pass legally, and it's going to take off, you know, even more, you know, from that point. So I'm really excited to be able to put my pinky toe and my big toe in this project and to really impact the world in a positive way through hiring.
Now, someone tells me it's a really relaxed type of environment.
Yeah.
It
depends because you have to think about it. Cannabis companies come in a lot of different forms. Most people think cannabis companies are just a dispensary, but people have to package the cannabis. They have to grow the cannabis. There are people who have to support the cannabis on an ancillary basis. So you have point of sale systems, banking, which is the law is about to pass, law firms, accounting firms, all of those large organizations that are providing some type of support to cannabis, whether it's directly or indirectly, are opportunities that we can all get into. So we've had employers reach out to us saying, hey, we need help with digital marketers who support the cannabis industry, or accountants who support the cannabis industry, or, you know, so it's not just the dispensary, bud tender, grower, trimmer kind of thing. Like, we need everyone who has a skill set, but they want to take their skill set and support the growth of the cannabis industry, whether it's medicinal or recreational. Both bring value to what we have going on in society today.
So then let me go back now, because I remember in our conversation, you didn't know if you're going to make it past 18. Yeah. You're studying at the library, failing test after test, doing this. So how do you get new websites? This is like, what, 3 different websites you have, and your business is booming. Where did this come from?
Yeah. So we're going to skip, because I know I look young and beautiful. I'm actually a little more seasoned than people might imagine. So we'll skip a lot in my life, in my lifetime. But what I will say is some years back, about 10, 11 years now, I was working for an organization in Atlanta recruiting, and I had been training on the side, and they had me doing some training in their organization. And the training that I was doing was so amazing. It was leaving a major impact on the organization. And I told them this was something I wanted to do for like part-time, half-time, but I wanted an actual title. They told me no. And so I quit. Right. And that's a whole nother story, but I quit. And but they gave me a non-compete and said that I couldn't do recruiting, so I had to wait a year. So I started out like writing resumes, and made about 6 figures doing that. And then I converted my business into more of a training company for the recruitment and staffing industry. And I started training organizations in their staffing departments. And then I got cancer, actually. And they told me, like, you're going to die. This is 2013, like October. They was like, you are not going to see 2014. Like, call your mom, call your family, plan your funeral. And I was like, okay, so y'all saying I'm passing away from cancer. Like, first of all, I call BS. Second of all, I'm not about to go nowhere because I don't give you permission to define when I'm going to leave. I give me permission to do that. I gave them one rule, which was to not call it cancer, because I felt like my grandma died of cancer. Like, when people hear the word cancer, they assume death, and I didn't want to associate that. So I told them they had to call it by its medical term. And that was it. And so I went through this like process in my home where I like started to, everything that I couldn't do, I wanted to see it on my wall. So I was on bed rest, so permanently. And so I started printing things out of meadows that I wanted to frolic in, people I wanted to meet, things I wanted to accomplish. And I had to really, my mom came in, she was like, okay, we need to start preparing. And I'm like, lady, you done lost your mind. And she's like, you need to see someone. I'm like, listen, I need to focus on what's going to happen. So I didn't believe I was going to pass, but I knew I wanted to leave a legacy. If I did, I wanted to leave something behind that other people can say, Dee Williams was a part of. And so I created like this e-store called recruitmentstore.com. And I started like selling products on how to do staffing and started building my first coaching program. And I did that like when they were telling me I wasn't going to make it. And then one day they called me and said, your blood is the right level. We're going to try to put you in surgery tomorrow. And I'm like, you mean tomorrow? They're like, be here at 1:00. We're going into surgery tomorrow. And so they did, and I made it through, and now it's 2020, whatever it is, and I'm still here. So that kind of kicked off things for me, to be honest with you. And I started to really fall in love with coaching and training, that I never went back to hardcore staffing. I just started to see like, this is really my calling. I'm a teacher, right? And so I built Staffingpreneurs Academy, and I realized that I had more fun working with people who wanted to start a staffing business than I did with companies who were already established. So I started, that was my foundational piece to my empire. And I call it my empire because every piece is another piece to my empire, right? So that was the starting point. I built my market. I learned my audience. I actually have very close relationships with most of the people that are there. So, and I've helped turn people who've come to me, minimum wage, they're now millionaires. Now they're impacting millions of lives in the healthcare space. I have nurses who are placing nurses in jobs. I have a guy who was a butcher. He's now a multimillionaire out in Delaware, Texas, placing people in the mental health space. I got a young kid in Atlanta who made his first million at 21, a kid in Houston. So I really started to impact lives in that way. But as I was coaching and training, I realized like I'm spending a lot of money on this. I really want to build something that suits me. And then I started this journey of building ReSkillify.com, where we host courses. And so my courses are on there right now. We've been nurturing all of the people in the community. And now we're at the point where we are allowing coaches to come in and utilize the technology as well to become coaches. So we're very hands-on. We're not like a Kajabi or a Udemy where you just go in and sign up on your own. We actually have a full team in the background from the very first conversation where we help you lay out your coaching plan. How much do you want to make? What type of impact? We focus on 3 types of goals: Personal goals, what do you want to do in your life over the next 5 years? Financial goals, how much do you want to make in the next year and in the next 5 years? And impact goals, how many people do you want to inspire or impact? What's your mission? What do you want to accomplish? And and it's just amazing to see how many people are coming in with, hey, I'm married. I want to be a marriage coach and help people to get through their marriages. And I have a young lady we're working with who helps people grieve over their pets. I have a seasoned Goya young lady who has been a teacher for 20, 30 years, and she's teaching early childhood development, early literacy and reading with children. So everyone's coming to the table with some value that they're bringing to impact the world. And, that's how all of this just really came about.
So here's a question. What do you consider your value?
My ability to see someone's talent and to be able to monetize that talent and to create impact for the world. I mean, that's really my core. I'm a creator at the end of the day. I would say my value is also the ability to connect people and their ideas, for sure.
All right, let's have some fun one more time. Let's go. We want you guys to know, if you have any questions, please type it into the chat. We'd love to answer any of your questions. But now it's time for... Pick 3. It's now time for Pick 3, and you're going to answer and ask your own 3 questions to yourself before we let you go. So I need you to give me 3 numbers between 1 and 13, and those are the questions you're going to answer before we let you go.
1, 3, and 7.
I was about to say, where's the 7? I know she said
that's definitely coming.
Where's the 7? Here it comes. All right, here he is. Question number 1. What's the one thing you wish you would have known before getting into this business?
One thing I wish that I would have known before getting into this business is how to nurture my teams, how to nurture my teams better, right? How to communicate with my teams to get the end result that I'm looking for, but still keep them fired up about the work that they're doing. I think that's very much so a challenge, because you always have this idea in your mind about what you're looking to accomplish, but you're also giving someone else that idea to execute, and they have their own perceptions, and you don't want to dismiss their perceptions because they're not yours. You want to incorporate those perceptions into what you're trying to accomplish. And so being able to find that balance as a leader, I think, is definitely challenging. And I wish there was like a manual for that, like in parenting. I feel like that's something that you don't really, there's not a manual for. You just have to learn based on people's energy.
All right. Number 3, what advice would you give someone pursuing a similar career to yours?
Have lots of money to burn through. Like, there are a lot of vendors out there. There are a lot of people out there who say, oh, I can do this for you. But in real life, they're really looking for the next check as well. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to grow their organization as well. I think that I've met more people who say, I can do this for you, and you want to invest in them because you like a person. But it's like, I don't know. You already know what I'm saying. It gets a little shaky. You got to hold on to that money. Yeah, just have some money to burn through so you can see.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Number 7. What is the one myth about your industry you wish you want to squash right now?
That Black women in tech cannot be as successful as every other, ethnicity out there. We are the least represented in technology. We are not taken seriously most of the time. And instead of people who are already in the industry, who are well-versed in other areas, instead of them coming in and supporting us, they just dismiss us. And I think it's really important that there's more visibility and there's more representation of Black women in technology, period. All
right. This question is coming from one of our viewers.
Yeah.
Question for Dee. At the end of the day, what do you want your legacy to be?
I want my legacy to be, fearlessness. Like I want it to be a message that, that you have to be resilient. You have to achieve and accomplish your goals no matter what is thrown at you. And I plan to do that through technology and because I'm a business girl, right? So I'll do that definitely through technology, but it's also through the lives that I impact every day. Sometimes I have to be honest, I feel like giving up. You know what I'm saying? Like people, you're complaining and different things like that. People don't always know all the things, like you said, Charles, that you go through on the back end to make something come to life. And then right when I think about it, somebody picks the phone up and they say, I just want to tell you, you don't know me, but I saw your YouTube video 3 years ago. You said one thing, it changed my life, and now I'm here. Or Dee, you don't know me, but you impacted me, and now I'm here. Like that is my legacy. The legacy is that, every person I came in contact with, I was able to leave a positive impression on them and help them move to that next place in their life. That was a great question. I talk about this all the time with my kids, like all the time, like legacy, legacy, legacy.
All right. So here you go. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. There it is. Some magic right there. I just threw you back into time.
Thank you.
Okay. Now you're walking up to a bus stop, and what do you see? The 18-year-old you standing at the bus stop.
Okay.
What are you going to say to the 18-year-old you?
Don't listen to anything anybody has to say about what you can accomplish, and don't worry about what other people think about you and how you look and who you are as an individual. Stay fired up, stay happy, and stay authentic. Stay true to yourself. That's what I would tell her.
There you go. There you go. Listen, if you want more information, there it is. I'm going to put all the links. Check out the websites.
ReSkillify.com. Come to Staffingpreneurs Academy. You want to start your own staffing business.
And the brand new one?
You want to work in the cannabis industry, or if you're an employer in the cannabis industry, you want to hire, come to the CannabisJobBoard.com. We will be an international company in the next couple of years. So get in, be a pioneer. Get in right now.
Get with it. Get with it. Hey, like I always say, before I let you go, make sure you get to a librarian. There's someone there to help you. Okay. So big shout outs are going to all the librarian out there. Big shouts out to the librarian. Come on, give them a big round of applause. There you go. Listen, Dee, this was fun. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I tell everybody, you didn't have to watch, but I'm so glad you did. Do me a favor. Pick up the phone and talk to somebody and let them know that you care and they can achieve anything they wanted to achieve. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Hey. Hope you had a great time listening to the show. If you think I did a great job, please buy me a coffee. I still got a lot of work to do. We would love to hear from you, your feedback, so please click the link and leave us a review. You can help us grow by following us on all social media platforms and sharing this link. Once again, it's time for you to jump. Success is waiting.